Hello, my name is Hayley Robinson, and today I will be discussing my research on Gertrude Bonin and the Native American struggle for suffrage. Looking at my presentation, it is clear that many groups of people did not benefit from the ratification of the 19th Amendment, and the American Indians were no different. Besides the information here, I would like to provide a deeper look into the primary sources used for my research and the importance of their contents without boring you, of course. First and foremost, two of the most important sources I used were two books, both written by Bonin. The first novel, American Indian Stories, is important because not only is it a first-hand account of Native Americans' daily life, but it sheds light on many injustices that these people faced. Primarily, it does a great job of revealing Native American culture and practices, sharing their ideas of spirituality and the way they interact and live within their communities. However, it also details their poverty, legal oppression, and lack of basic human rights as wards of the state. The second book, Old Indian Legends, further examines their culture, telling stories passed down through generations of Native Americans, which reveal that many of their morals and ethics align quite closely with Western American culture at the time. This is important in portraying them as humans that subsequently deserve suffrage instead of unteachable savages that Americans frequently labeled them as. This one specifically is also critical because it preserves their history in written text at a time when American life sought to suppress their culture. My third source from the U.S. Congress was the act to authorize the Secretary of the Interior to issue certificates of citizenship to Indians. While this was a big step in gaining suffrage for the American Indians, it also brought to light their continuing oppression, as many were still barred from voting due to state laws. I used this because it further explained how the U.S. government failed to provide basic human rights to an entire population of people that lived under their rule. My fourth source, also heavily influenced by Bonin, was a pamphlet of bylaws named The Constitution and Bylaws of the National Council of American Indians, which was written shortly after Native Americans were granted citizenship in 1924. This pamphlet described the rights that American Indians sought, such as religious and political freedom, presenting and preserving their racial history, distinguishing their culture and values, a right to education, healthcare, legal rights, and social acceptance. It also provided rules, regulations, and guidelines to dictate membership on the council, fairness, and the duties of each person included. This is imperative in understanding the struggle that Native Americans faced even after becoming citizens, as they were still socially and politically shunned from the American world. To conclude, all of the above sources work in tandem to expose the realities that the Native American Indians faced, among many other populations, as oppressed groups of people fought for suffrage and human rights. I hope this project illuminates the problems of the past in an educative way that allows us to apply this knowledge to our fight for equity and equality today. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the symposium.